18 cycles of perfected replication.
This is 20 or 21 seconds.
One singular lap in a 50-meter pool, and that is it.
Very unique demands and very unique athletes that perform in this event.
We swim, we ride, till we die.
This is The Science of Swimming with David Curtis. If you think about what is the toughest opponent,
hair is standing on end just thinking about it. Hair standing on end just thinking about it. Hair standing on end just thinking about it. Hair standing on end just thinking about it. is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it.
Here we go. Bringing in Gianna Woodruff. We are live, everybody. It's 4 o'clock Eastern Time here in New York City. I am Bob Ciosic. I am the founder and CEO of World's Greatest. Today's going to be a cool show. We have Gianna Woodruff, 400-meter hurdler. Should be popping in any second now. She runs for Panama, trains in an amazing group down in Fayetteville, Arkansas with Coach Boogie Johnson and a whole crew of, they pulled in a lot of hardware. As soon as G pops in here, we're gonna ask her how many medals this group has won so far in the Olympics, and there may be a Paralympian or two that trains down at University of Arkansas as well. But we'll be getting G in here in a second. The other guest, Julia Gaffney. Julia is a bronze medalist para-swimmer. She took home the bronze. I think it was 2 days ago. I think she has one more event left. But she's a 2-time Paralympic medalist and world champ. I think she's a 3-time world champion. So she's bringing home some hardware. But she is also, just sheer coincidentally, trains in Arkansas. But I think it's like, well, I don't know the university, so I'm not going to guess it. But it's somewhere east of where Janna trains. So, yeah, so that's what we got going on. It was a big day. I don't know if you guys have been watching. Big day in Paris. Lots of medals being won. I don't know if you guys noticed. Our friend Noah has been upgraded to a gold medal, Noah Malone. So he went from silver up to gold. So that was kind of some big news today. Since we had who was it? We had Ryan Madrano on the other day, 2 days ago, uh, and Ryan has since won another silver medal. There's G.
Hello.
What's going on?
Oh, not much. How are you guys doing?
Oh, all good, all good. You're looking all refreshed, relaxed.
You know what? This is what happens when you're finally on your break. You can
Yeah,
finally let your hair down. I'm getting my tan on right now. I'm kind of glowing a little bit. So,
I was noticing that. I was noticing that. So if I've already done my intro, Gianna. So why don't you do your intro while we're waiting for Julia to pop in as well?
all right. Well, hello, everyone. Gianna Woodruff. I am an Olympian, two-time Olympian for Panama. I'm a 400 hurdler. Recently got my master's in social work. I'm trying to think what else. Um, I'm from Los Angeles originally. We're in Arkansas now because I train under Boogie Johnson, who was the assistant coach at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. Um,
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
that's
That's
it.
a pretty good rundown to start
Yeah,
it because
yeah.
we haven't even gone through our life story in 60 seconds thing that we'll be doing. We're,
Like
we're
what we did the last time, which was great. You really put me on the spot, but
that,
I
that
I
was
put it I put it out there though.
you did put it out there, and so we'll go back to that in a little bit. While we're waiting for Julia, this is actually good. We did this with Grace Stark the other day because Beatrice Hatch was running a little late, and so just so everybody knows, so Julia is in Paris right now competing. Um, she won bronze. I don't think it was last night. I think it was the night before, but I could be wrong.
It was
Uh,
like 4 nights ago.
was it okay?
Yeah.
So super exciting. Her second bronze medal, and she does compete again. I know. Hopefully she's going to be able to pop in soon. In the meantime, though, it gives us a chance to chat about your Olympic experience, second go around at the Olympics, and not the result that you wanted, but you know, like we had Chase Jackson on a shot putter just the other day, and that was like a little bit of a heart wrenching discussion, a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but I mean, you're putting yourself out there, right? I mean, you're putting yourself on that stage, and as an athlete, you're accepting kind of the highs and what might be considered not a low, but lower than what you wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
So
No,
talk to us a little bit about that. Yeah.
no, yeah. I mean, I guess I would consider Paris being my first real Olympics because the first one was COVID. And so there was nobody in the stands. And this was definitely the most people I've ever had in the stands. It was like 70,000, 80,000 people in that track stadium. Like,
Wow.
it was pretty electric. The crowd was going crazy. Like you could feel the vibes and just like I don't know, everyone was just like you could feel the love. So and it was actually nice to kind of like be able to be outside of the village and to go kind of like explore. My family was there, my boyfriend was there. So really like it was definitely nice to kind of have the full Olympic experience. But yes, I think with everything, you have your highs and quote unquote lows. You know, we've been training for 3 years, 4 years, for one moment, one throw, one race, one jump, for it to just kind of come together with everything that you've been doing. And I think it's just a part of the sport. Like my last Olympics, I made the final, and that was like, my first major final that I have ever made, and it was an Olympic final. So it was like, okay, we're gonna, build so that we can get a medal for Panama, and so my goal was like, becoming the first medalist for Panama. And so that was kind of like what I was thinking. And the way how the year started, like indoor season, it was good. I had, a few PRs in the 200 and the 400 meter. And then outdoor kind of happened. And then I was like, okay, it was a little slow start. So I'm like, okay, maybe not this meet, maybe the next competition. Then it just kind of like kept happening. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're just going to continue to trust the process, and you kind of just have to continue just because even though it's a low, quote unquote, I still think there are a lot of things that I can grow from this situation, and it's not the end of the world, which is kind of like I got my master's. So I'm just kind of like, there this year has really taught me that, like, obviously track is like my main bread and butter, but it's like I also have to find my identity outside of track, so that, like, if things don't go well, then it's like, okay, what other things can I fall back on? Who am I without track and field, you know? And track is just like a super bonus for me. It just continues to add to who I am. But Paris was great. Paris was amazing. The food was a lot better than my past experiences, because I was like, man, this French food is not going to be good. Like, I was not looking forward to it. But I went to a few good places, so I was like pleasantly surprised.
That I think Laquan, like, he kind of broke some news when we had him on the show. He's like, I hope she's not watching, but he's like, I'm gonna go to Paris. So.
No, yeah, it was a surprise. Like, we were kind of planning it, but he was like a little hesitant, but then he finally did it. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'm just very thankful that he was able to be out there, you know, just to help support, you know, through the great things and through all the challenging things, you
yeah,
know, 'cause this is what makes us who we are. You know, he couldn't even make the team, you know, under different circumstances. It just was like, all right, you know, but every country is different. They have their different, you know, requirements and rules to get into everything. So it's like he feels maybe worse than I felt, you know, and it's like
yeah,
everyone's handling it in their different ways.
yeah. That was a fun show with him. We
He
should do.
told me he is hilarious. Yes, he
We
is.
we had a lot of fun, and I think that was the one where Devin was on that show as well. So
Yeah, I think it
the
was.
that was a blast. So talk to me a little bit. So the first time you walked in the stadium was for um, for the rounds, or did you go into the stadium to watch any other event to get a feel for the crowd?
So a few days before the competition, they had, like, I think it was a day before the 100 meters, they opened up the actual track and the practice track so that we could all look at it, because we were all training at practice tracks that were like around the city, but not the actual training track that we would be on during competition. So it was like 2 days before I was going to compete, and walking into the stadium was another surreal moment, because it just was like, wow, like, because you always heard about this purple track, and then you finally see and you're standing on the purple track, and it was like, wow, look how majestic this is, you know, right now. And in all the different countries, everyone who was in there, like, it was a whole thing. Like, people were, I mean, I'm sure you probably saw a lot of TikToks, a lot of videos, a lot of just
Yeah,
pictures, everything, you know. But it was definitely nice being in there. It didn't really have, like, there weren't any fans or anything like that. So my first actual, I guess, day of competition was when I guess I walked in there for the prelims, and I was like, I mean, you like want to look in the stands, but you don't, because it can get kind of daunting. And then you're like, okay, this is very real right now.
yeah. I mean, and you've competed all over the world, so nothing new for you to have a big
Yeah.
stadium
Yeah.
full, but 70,000, 80,000, whatever it is on the Olympic stage is like
Yeah.
another level to it all.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of people. Like, and just was amazing to see how many people came for track and field. And obviously, I think I know track and field is one of those, like, sports that, like, everyone just wants to go and watch during the Olympics. But I think it's just been a little bit more special this year, in the last, like, few years, with the development of it. Like, and I think the marketing on it has gotten a little bit better, or maybe athletes are just putting themselves in position to, like, take advantage of like, you know, separating themselves so that people can come to watch track and field. You know, either way, it's good publicity. Whether it's good or bad, I think it's either good. It's good either way.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I mean, I've been preaching this for a lot of years, saying this is going to be the greatest run ever,
Yeah.
for the Olympics. And you know, Clayton Murphy was like, okay, he's just like waiting for track to start. He's like,
No, no,
it really.
literally.
He's like, it
We're
really
waiting
doesn't start.
full 2 weeks for it. Like, come on, can we get there already? Like,
And I think there's something about track and field that's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know what if we can identify with it more, or maybe played it in high school or whatever,
I think it's
competed.
definitely relatable. Everyone has
Yeah,
ran at some point, whether that you have to run for PE when you're in middle school, whether you are just, you know, having a run club. People do 5Ks, 10Ks, 3Ks. Like, they do that more often
yeah,
think, even if you're not training for anything, if you just want to just hang out with your friends, just have conversations and stuff. Like, I think we're the one sport that, whether you did it for punishment at basketball practice or
Right.
football, and suicides or whatever you had to do, everyone has ran at some point. So it's like, I think it's the one sport that's so relatable. It can cross through different sports.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. So I say this a lot with hurdlers. It's like, normal people in life don't want to, if they're having a tough time, I got a hurdle to get over. It's usually used as a bad analogy. Something bad is happening in my life and I got to get over this hurdle. But you've done it twice. So you're taking hurdles and putting it into one of the hardest track events, the 400. So 400-meter hurdler. So 2 times now you said, all right, this isn't hard enough. I'm going to make it harder than that. Why would you do that, G? What's going on in your mind?
When I was in high school, so this was when I first started running hurdles. So we had the 300 hurdles and I was a junior in high school, and I was still like trying to figure out what event I was really good at. I ran the 800 growing up, the 15 like events I had no business being in, but I just was trying to figure it out. And then I ran the 200, 400. My high school coach was like, okay, I'm gonna throw you in the hurdles. Because I had tried pole vault because I was an ex-gymnast. So
Geez.
I was all over. Yeah,
You're just doing everything.
Jump. The hurdles was the only one that stuck. And I was really like actually good at it, because he just told me, just run in between the hurdles. Don't worry about technique yet, And so I was like, okay, sure. I can just run in between the hurdles. And so I ran my way to our first state final. And in California, you're running against everybody in the state. So like, It was a big deal for me. My first time, and I'm running against girls who had been running the hurdles for like 10 years prior, and I just kind of popped in it. And so I was like, okay, have I finally found what I'm really good at? But I just kept and from 300 hurdles, I never tried the short hurdles. I've always been 400-meter hurdler. And so it was definitely, that was the only thing that I've known. So I've only known challenging, hard things in my life, I guess, apparently, and just going through adversity. Like, I feel like, I don't know, hurdles, the actual hurdles are like the hurdles in your life for me. And I think that how I'm approaching them is kind of like how I get through everything in life as well, just one hurdle at a time, and view every hurdle as a race. And so, yeah, it kind of stuck with me. And actually this year, Coach Johnson, he had me run the short hurdles, and we ran at Texas Relays. And it was not terrible. I think I ran like 13.3, 13.2. For me, It's not bad. But I just was like, are you sure you want me to? I have the one person out there who has zero experience running the short hurdles. But it did play a role, and it did like help me to be more technical, So, yeah, it is crazy getting out there running the 400 hurdles. But I love the 400 hurdles more than the open 400. So everyone can call me crazy for that. But
yeah. Well, then too. All right. So let's give everyone a little bit of a peek inside your world and how it works, because down at University of Arkansas, right? Your coach is Boogie Johnson, and Boogie decides to kind of come in. Give me the whole scenario, right? Everybody doesn't know this, right? So it's Boogie and his brother.
yes.
So give us the whole thing, because it's such a cool story. I'm still waiting to find a way to get a sponsor to shoot this Brothers Johnson story.
No, it's
Johnson and Johnson. Where are you?
Johnson. No, literally.
We could literally name the show Johnson and Johnson. Their logo could be the show. So.
They are two masterminds, and they just so happen to be cut from the same cloth. And when you're talking to one, you're literally talking to the other one, just because like they think so much alike. One is just they just have different coaching styles, and you can obviously see that when we're training at practice. So Coach Chris Johnson, he mostly has the 400 girls, and obviously we know they are the quarter horses, the cutie patooties, as Shamir called them. So they are it's just amazing seeing kind of like the collegiate girls, and because they are one of the schools that is a separate program, so it's really seeing them like dialed in, just day to day, just working their little butts off like all the time, and then seeing them reap the benefits of what they're doing. Like, I just don't have any words, because I'm just like, like, I know that they're amazed at us, at what we do professionally, but I can share the same admiration for them as well. And then having my coach Boogie Johnson there to take over for the short sprints and hurdles, and seeing what he has done already, just in one season, they've already had finalists, NCAA finalists, people scoring points, in the 400 hurdles, in the short hurdles, like girls PRing, and they haven't been able to PR for years. So I just think it's really cool to see them working together, and just to see how they're going to be like in the future. Like, I just know Arkansas is just going to continue to be a dominant powerhouse school.
It's so amazing, right? I mean, it's Coach of the Year, Chris Johnson, Assistant Coach of the Year, Boogie
Right.
Johnson, right?
Already.
And, Boogie's, it's so interesting. People don't understand this too, that both coach professionals like yourself, right? Like Shamir, right? So give us the whole list, though. 'Cause we had Fifi on the show as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was so fun.
Oh,
she's
she's great.
She's hilarious.
She's hilarious.
I had no idea. But I want to have her back on. Go through the whole list of all the athletes in the group who made the Olympic team. Give us the rundown. If you can remember them all.
No, I think I can, because it's not even just, it's Chris's group, Boogie's group, and then you have Coach Geffer's group, which is the jumps group. So you really have and then you have, I don't know if Ryan Krauser, I don't know.
Let's throw Ryan into the.
But like, he's in the mix too.
Yeah.
It's literally like 30 athletes. Like, we could have our own country that could be represented. So, so let me see if I can name them all.
By the way, we have Wayne. Wayne is going to be on the show on Friday.
Oh, is he? Oh,
yeah.
That's nice. That's great. So it's Shamir. I'm just going to go from Chris's group. Shamir, Amber Anning, Akira. There is Nikisha Price, Fifi, Cindy Simber. I think that's Talia is 7. So I think that's pretty much all his girls made it, I think.
I think you're right.
Okay. And forgive me if I'm forgetting some names, okay, ladies and gentlemen.
So is Alexis in?
She's in my group.
She's in your group. Yeah.
And then from my group, you have Brittany, Alexis, and Andronette made it as well, myself.
That's right.
So it's 5 of us. Yeah. And then
go to.
And then we have Coach Geffer's group, which is Wayne, Carrie, Tara, Hunter. I think that's 4.
I mean, it's
and
so
then
many.
And then you have the miscellaneous, like, and then we have the discus thrower from Arkansas as well.
That's right. Roger.
Jonah. Yeah. Him, and then you have Ryan Krauser. Like, I didn't name 30, but and then there are some like long distance runners who, forgive me, I'm not sure the names of some of them, but like there's a list of people,
Yeah.
It's really amazing seeing them day in and day out, just everyone just working hard and grinding, laid out literally on the track. Some days
it's amazing to see. Just to give people a feel. You walk in, that indoor track on a. It was mid-January whenever we came. It was funny because I think you were the first person. You're the one who said to me, "Typical world's greatest, showing up when nobody else does."
No, literally.
In the middle of January.
What you always see, like, the behind the scenes is like, you see everything, like from the good parts of practice to even just the parts where Coach Johnson is yelling at you, and just wanting you to be the best version of yourself, because it's not even yelling at you, it's just motivating you, and like you've seen all of those moments, so it's really actually cool to have you there like all the time, like, oh, this is regular, this is typical for you to be here.
It's just so fun. I think the behind the scenes stuff, and we're just going to keep doing more and more of it, it just gives a peek inside. Everyone is used to seeing you guys on the big world stage, and it's like, oh man, it's the Olympics, or it's World Championships, or it's a big Diamond League event, or whatever, right? And it's like, but it really all is able to happen because of all the other stuff that you did.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like I like to say the stories are really made, you know, in the months and years beforehand.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
between now and LA 2028 Olympics, these are where all the stories are. Yes, there'll be world championships in between there that you'll be gearing up for and other big events, but it's the day in and the day out work that you do, you know. And so how many weeks off will you get before you really start to go back and
You
start
know,
working?
I've been off a few weeks already, like two. So I'm either, I think I may start end of September because I think that's kind of when everyone else is going to be kind of stopping. And because some of them are in Europe right now with Coach Johnson and they're still finishing out the season. So I'll probably get started in October, which is actually a little longer for me for my break. But I will take it because I've been kind of competing since like Pan Am Games last year. So it's
Yeah.
been nice for me to have more than 2 weeks off. But knowing me, I'm not going to be completely off. I'm going to go on some runs, maybe go to the sauna, just continue to still be
Yeah.
kind of in the mode, but I won't be going to the track.
Hey, G, how does it feel to be the best athlete in your country? How does that feel? That's kind of a wild thing.
It is wild. And actually, we had our first female medalist. We had a boxer girl. She came second. So
Wow.
I am not by myself anymore, which is great. I mean, because this was her third Olympics, I believe. And so the fact that was able to do this, really is kind of like her, myself, like we've just kind of paved the way for like a lot of people and even people before me, like, a lot of the men and some of the other women. No, but it can be a little like, wow, like all the pressure, like, oh my gosh, but then I'm also just like so grateful to be in this position where I can, I just was in Panama a few weeks ago and
I
we're talking
saw
about
that. Yeah.
camp. Yeah, so we're talking about doing camps. Like, I met the mayor of Colon, which is a city from where my mom is from. So I'm not going to be in politics, but having those people in my back pocket, I think will help to have a lot of progression. And so that we'll have more than 8 athletes at the next Olympics. I
Yeah.
think track and field is going to we're going to have a lot of good people. We may even have a mixed relay, so watch out for us. Okay.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so the relays are so much fun, and the mixed relays I think are even more fun to watch.
Yeah, they are. I just want to be a part of it. Like, come on. Like, it looks so
Yeah.
fun, and yeah, and just being able to have like both male and female, I think on it, that's like, I think it's
We,
really cool.
it's so cool, and you see too, like athletes. I mean, the relay is what helped Shamir get to the Olympics, right? I
Yeah,
mean, and
exactly.
and
Yeah.
then once she got there, she was bringing home the hardware,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like Vernon Norwood. He's another athlete who, without the
Mhm.
relay pool, right? Without the relay pool, he wouldn't be who he is. But again, he took advantage of it and
Yeah.
and got those medals, and
Yeah.
the all right, so let you ready to do. I don't know. I've been kind of taking a peek here to see if Julia's going to be popping in. You know how it goes. It gets
Oh
crazy
yeah.
when
Especially in Paris, I know that on the days you think that you have time,
yeah,
somehow things get rolling. So
exactly. So we'll just keep rolling with it. I'll keep an eye
yeah.
out to see if she's going to pop in, but we'll keep having our fun. So I want to do our your life story in 60 seconds thing. So here's what's happened. This has
Oh
actually
my
been
gosh.
this has been really fun. So
Okay.
Chase Jackson, I'm trying to find who has the world record here so far. It's so Rose Hollerman, wheelchair basketball player for U.S. Rose had let me double check. It was a 50. So it's closest to a minute without going over. That's the game that we started playing. Yeah, Rose had 58.86.
And she
So
did everything. Like, are you gonna ask questions or how does it
no,
work?
it's going to be. I'm just give me your life story in 60 seconds, and so,
You
so
love doing
so
this.
I love doing this. So Chase Jackson, that was hilarious. So she's been on twice now. I had her on
Mhm.
the Olympics version and now the Paralympics version. And so Chase had the longest. She went on for like over 2 minutes. and
You
then
swear?
and then the next time she had the shortest. It was 23 seconds.
Oh my gosh! I wonder how long mine's gonna be.
All right, here we go.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
get,
wait,
I'm
wait,
get, I'm
wait.
get. No,
No, you gotta give me some time.
there's no thinking. All right,
All
ready,
right, for
G?
sure. Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, Gianna Woodruff here. I'm a Panamanian 400 meter hurdler. I grew up in Los Angeles, born and raised LA. I went to school in Inglewood, California, St. Mary's, and then I went to college. Um, that's a lot of ums. I went to college at the University of Washington. Go Huskies. I was also a 400 meter hurdler. I did the 400. I also have the record in the 4x1 up there as well. Backtracking, I grew up playing sports. I'm one of 5 athletes, well, one of 5 children, but we're all athletic as well. Um, I did gymnastics, I played soccer, I ran track. And so we landed on track because that was kind of what was going to help me get to college. And so I went to college, University of Washington. I graduated 2015. And then I stayed out there in Washington for an extra year. And then I decided I wanted to pursue my professional career in track and field now. And so, yeah, fast forward a few extra years, I'm getting my master's in social work. I graduated in May of this year. And then along the way, I have also competed in 2 Olympics. In 2021, I was an Olympic finalist. And then I also competed in the 2024 Olympics this year. I have a boyfriend, I have a dog, and that's it.
All right, you have
Oh, wow.
you have the second longest time ever.
Oh my gosh. I did not think it was going to be that long.
I know you have to get in speed mode.
I know. And then I lost everything, and then I wanted to backtrack, and then I was like,
Yeah,
I did better the very first time I did it. I don't
you
know
did.
how. I don't know how I was able to do that, but some kind of way.
There's without the sense of urgency, like if you like, it has to be like pressure urgency to get through,
You're right.
so you can jam pack it in.
I didn't think that.
Yeah, minute and a
You know
half.
what? I just need to keep something on lock because I know every time I'm gonna see you and talk with you, it's gonna be a 60 or 30 second of my life. So I just need to have like
Yeah.
some bullet points for sure.
The tell us a little bit about your like the family growing up, because every athlete I've ever met who's at an elite level comes from a family of athletes. So talk to me a little bit about the family dynamic in athletics.
Yeah, my mom was an athlete. She did ballet, she played soccer, she did gymnastics. My dad played basketball and football, but if you ask my mom, we got our athleticism from her because she's Panamanian and she just is. My mom is like that, and so so I'm one of 5. I have an older sister, and then I'm in the middle, younger sister, and 2 younger brothers. And my mom, growing up in South Central Los Angeles, you can get into a lot of trouble. And so my parents, they were like, we're not gonna, be going down that route. And so my parents, they put us in sports. So my mom, she put us all in gymnastics. We played soccer. We ran track. We swam a little bit too. My parents had put us in everything, and track was one of those sports that kind of just like fit with everybody because in soccer you're running up and down the field. Even in gymnastics you're doing a lot of running, whether you're on the floor, whether you're on the vault, for sure. So I was able to use my speed a little bit with that. And then with swimming, it was fun. I definitely like to be in the water, but swimming just wasn't for me, and that's okay. My mom actually wanted me to be a volleyball player, which is funny. I'm not even like 5'10" or super tall. She just was like, why do you want to run track? Because I wasn't the most athletic in my family, which is even funnier that I'm the only elite athlete in my siblings, like my older sister.
That's crazy.
It's
oh my God.
Crazy. It's so insane. Like my older sister was the one who went to UCLA, had full rides to Florida, like Texas. Like she was the one who was supposed to be, I guess, where I'm at, and then my younger sister did gymnastics. She competed collegiately. Now she's in the Army, so she kind of kissed that goodbye. And then my younger brother, they were like really good in soccer. So I was just there, trying to figure out what worked, what didn't. I was the one, when I was running the 800 and 1500 meter when I was a little girl, I was in the back waving at people in the stands, like smiling and laughing when I'm running. Like
So
I need
funny.
to find a picture or a video to send it to you, because it's so amazing and just so funny to see how life works and how I'm like here in this position, and like no one probably would have thought that.
That's
So yeah,
crazy.
no, we have just been involved in sports. This has been an outlet for us and a way so that we could pay for college. So we were always student athletes, even when we were in high school, middle school. Like this has been my life for forever.
You know what's so amazing? It's kind of the same story. Maybe it's a little bit of a track and field thing. I'm not quite sure. But you guys are overachievers, right? So you're like, oh, I got my master's degree. You're just like throwing that in there. And it's like, oh, while you were training for this Olympics,
Right, right.
you actually got your master's degree. Like, so where does that drive like that come from? That you're like, okay, I'm doing this thing, but I'm also going to do this thing. Like you're like piling on more stuff. Like normal people go, when I get through that thing, I'm going to
Then I'm
have
going
some
to start something.
time to do that thing. But you're like, no, I'm going to do them both.
Well, I honestly would not recommend being a high level athlete, Olympic athlete, and trying to get your master's or pursuing your master's. But it just was one of those things that I was like, I'm not getting any younger right now, and I'm not doing anything else. I mean, I'm training every day, I guess. But I just was kind of thinking of stuff like post track and field. Like, I know I'm not going to be young forever. I know, my time on the track is going to come. I have a window for it. And so I was like, and I really had I known what I know now, I probably would have got my master's as soon as I graduated from getting my bachelor's. But I'm young, I'm still out there, I'm just hanging
Yeah.
out, and I just got to Coach Johnson's group as well during that time. So it was like, okay, I'm still just trying to, adjust to this new training group. So I kind of just put it on hold. And so it wasn't, and I think everything happens at the right time and when it's supposed to happen. And so yeah, I just was like, I want to do a lot of things in the community. Like that's what I'm going to use my master's for, my master's of social work. So I want to do some nonprofit stuff, I want to do some wellness centers, and I really want to do a lot of things in Panama, which is also one of the reasons why I go back to Panama quite often, because I'm trying to do stuff in the community. Like I would not be here if it was not for my village, and so I want to
Mm.
continue to give that back to those in Panama who need it, and just like who just need that extra support, just someone to let them know that I care about you and I'm here for you.
What's the village that you grew up in, or the town that you grew up in?
In Los
In,
Angeles.
no, in or your family's from actually in Panama.
Oh, in Colon, Colon.
Okay. And then, so that's where you would kind of go back and build
Yeah,
some sort of
yeah.
charity support system of some sort.
hmm
Yeah.
And really building a functional track, like the tracks that they have out there. You can't even be out there past a certain time because the lights don't work.
Oh,
They have
really?
artificial grass that somehow is growing onto the track. I have no idea how that's even possible, but it's just like small things, but are big in the, like they just need one track. Like so, and so if I could help kind of like promote that or give them some resources or infrastructure to kind of help that out, like that's my life would be like even more so complete if I'm able to do that.
I want to kind of go backwards in time because one of my like really kind of seared into my memory of you images was when we went to Fort Worth.
Mhm.
I think it was like we'd gone there and we shot with you guys once, and then we came back to shoot again, like, prior. I think it was about 3 weeks prior to the Olympics.
I remember that.
But you had a giant ice bag on your knee and you were on crutches, I believe.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
like, what is going on, G? And you're like, oh,
Exactly.
nothing. I just kind of bumped my knee. Like, and it was like, wasn't it 3 weeks before?
Yeah, it
Or
was
maybe less.
No, it was, I think it was 2 to 3 weeks because I was out for that whole week, and I was like, and I was looking forward to seeing you guys because I'm like, okay, we're gonna be filming, we're gonna be doing this, we're gonna be doing that, and then I wasn't doing anything. I was
That was great. So what were you thinking at that point? It's like, all right, you've made the Olympic team. The Olympics are coming up. You're dialing in, right? And suddenly, what happened?
yeah. So we're, long days, hot days at the track over there
So
in Fort
hot.
Worth. Like we were going through a period where I think it was like 2 months of like 100-degree plus weather from morning to night. And so we're there at the track in the heat of the day because Coach Johnson, the way how he thinks, is like he wants us to be there when we're kind of like going to be competing. So whether that's going to be like, in the heat of the day, he's like, I want you guys to get adjusted to it and get used to it. So just kind of like have that background, and then we're doing a hurdle workout. And he wanted us to do, so we started off with like a shorter run, and then we went to like a longer run. And I was like, oh, why didn't we do the longer run first? And so we end up going on the last run. It was 500, meters over hurdles. And I get 100 meters, we're almost there to the line, 100 meters to the line. And I clip the hurdle, my trail leg kind of clips the hurdle, and my knee just like smacks right into the ground. Like, and it was nothing that I could do. Like, good thing that my hands were there because my hands kind of broke my fall. And so like, I'm just like rolling around on the ground, like kind of just like wailing because I couldn't breathe because the way how I fell on the ground, I just was like, it knocked all the wind out of me.
Wow.
And so I get up and I'm still trying to run, but I'm just like, oh, okay, like that kind of hurts. Like I can't do anything at all. And so I finally get to the line, and then Coach Johnson's like, what's up? Are you okay? I said, no, like my knee really hurts like bad. And so I think it still had a bunch of adrenaline. We still have weights. So I go to the weight room, I'm lifting, we're doing everything because the way how, I don't know, I think if that's just the way how I'm wired or us, we just continue to go, and then you don't see or feel anything until after the fact. And so, and then it wasn't until as soon as I was done lifting and everything kind of settled that I realized that my knee was getting really big. And so I was like, okay, I go home and my knee is literally this big. And I was like, trying not to freak out because I'm like, okay, I know we're supposed to be gone in 2 weeks. But then I go into the bathroom, I start crying because I'm just like, I'm freaking out. Because I'm just like, it's no way this is happening to me. We work so hard, like we've done X, Y, and Z.
Jeez.
I go to practice the next day, and Coach Johnson he's calm as ever, cool as a cucumber. He's like, you're going to be fine. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay, if my coach is telling me I'm going to be fine, I'm going to be fine. Like, he's the one I put all my trust into, and just continuing to trust everything that I'm doing. So if he's the one that's saying I'm going to be fine, I'm going to be fine. I was in contact with physios, with the chiropractor. I was able to, like, I did ultrasound, or I did a bunch of needling on it. So, like, the fact that we got it down in a week, like, I was out that whole week, which was the whole week that you guys were there. So I was there writing down. I was being an assistant. I was not going to be home. There was no part of me that could be home during that week because I really probably would have lost my mind had I been at home and in my feelings and in my thoughts. And so, yeah, you guys definitely saw a different side, but that's also a part of athletics. Things kind of happen randomly.
It's crazy. And then you were able, I mean, you ended up finishing what, 5th at the Olympics?
No, I finished 7th.
7th.
Mm-hmm.
The made the finals, 7th best in the world, but 2-3 weeks ago your knee was like was like a watermelon.
No, literally. And that first practice back, it was the hardest practice that I've ever had. Like, just mentally getting over, like, because he was like, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit, but it doesn't mean that anything's broke. And so I was crying at practice that day, but I ended up running like my PR 600. So I'm just like, all right, I don't know I'm tripping for, but so it's just like having a good village of people around you, you guys included, because you guys really like helped me. And we're just kind of like laughing it off because it's no point. We should not be so serious right now. Like, obviously, yes, we're hurting, but like, it's going to be okay. Like, you guys really helped me get through that as well. Like, I needed all that. We all needed all of that.
Well, it's funny because we ended up, because of that, we didn't have quite enough footage for you. So we had to combine you and Dylila into one episode.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say, though, is, and I know I've texted you this before, all of your content performs. It's like crazy. So your Panamanian fans just love you. It's like if you were to Google you or you on YouTube, all of our videos would pop.
Oh, no, they do pop up. They really do pop up. No, which is amazing.
So we
You
got to start
guys,
doing more stuff. It's your fan base is like dying for more. So we got to get some more going.
no, they
Hey,
do, and we got to have some subtitles in Spanish too, so that they can
exactly.
play along
Yes.
with it
Yes.
too. Yep.
So what I wanted, the other thing I was ready to ask you on the Paralympic side is, so what sports have you been following and watching, and also what one, if you could choose a sport that is in the Paralympics, what one would you love to be competing in?
Okay, so I've watched a little bit of it. I've definitely watched the 100 track and field because Hunter is running. So I've caught him. And then I saw some table tennis as well, which is
Yeah.
impressive. The swimming, because I wanted to watch, because since we were going to be on the episode, I was like, okay, let me watch some of the swimming. And I actually saw her event, and I was like, she came from like fourth, fifth place. Oh no. Oh, okay.
I'm there. Sometimes it does this where it's just like we black out and then
We blacked out.
and we flip sides.
It's okay. And then I actually saw her Olympic race, and I just was like, this girl came from the back.
Yeah,
You know,
she
and it's
came
like
from way back. Yeah, it was
it's
amazing.
like it is truly amazing. I've seen a little bit of archery, which is even more mind blowing to me.
So we're trying to get Matt Stutzman on. Matt, he calls
Ooh.
himself the armless archer,
I
and
don't even know how, but it's just
it's
I
amazing.
love to see it. I literally love
Yeah.
to see it because it's just like it's the word can't, it should never be in anyone's vocabulary.
Yeah, the it's so interesting to yes is the right yes that, and it's like we were talking with Grace Stark, the 100-meter hurdler, and Beatrice Hatz, she runs multiple, like the hunt. I think she's 100, 200.
You just got a
100.
medal too, right? I think
Yeah, B just got a
Yeah.
medal in the long
the
jump.
long jump. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're talking about like what it takes to be the greatest and going through that, and Grace went first, and then it came over to B, and she's like, I agree with everything that Grace just said, except there's this whole other side of this, right? There's the athlete side of what it takes to be the greatest. Then there's this, prosthetic leg. She's like, there's things that happen, like if it's too hot and my leg swells up, and then I don't fit into it the same way, and then like she's going through all these other factors, and then she goes, well, even on my medal winning jump, I was jumping on a cracked leg.
Wow.
So her blade leg had some crack in it, and she decided she tried the other one, but it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and she's just couldn't get used to it. She's like, I don't like the feel of it.
Yeah.
So she's like, there's a whole other thing of like the feel of the blade.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's like all of these other factors that these athletes have to deal with. And she's like, Olympic athletes have all their things to deal with too. I'm not trying to take away, but we have this other side.
Oh yeah.
Right? Which is, like you say, there can't.
I mean, it's just the day to day. Even from what I heard, I think when Hunter, something happened with his prosthetic leg at the World Championship last year too, and it just was like he couldn't even run. It just is like devastating, like something like that.
Yeah.
That we don't even think about, because obviously our worlds are a little bit different in that aspect, so it's like them thinking, something, a crack or a screw could be loose, or, just like something like that could really like make or break in that, in your competition. And so, just having to think about all of that when you're at the line and about to compete as well, just hoping that everything is in play and in line, just even adds more to the elite level of athletes that we are, Paralympians and Olympians included. Like, it's just, wow.
So true. So we've had so many athletes. So right now, this is day 13 for us, our 13th episode. We had.
Let's go.
Oh, wait a minute here. No, I'm looking at the other one. I'm looking at the Olympic one. Basically, we've had. No, this is day 9. out of 13. We have 13 total. So we had Ryan Madrano on. He had won the silver, and he has cerebral palsy. And so within it, there's like classifications. So I think with CP, there it goes from like T33 to 38. So the lower the number, the more affected you are. So basically, you're in groups of people that have a similar disability, right? But he's like, look, if you just saw me, walking down the street, you wouldn't maybe know anything is wrong with me. But he goes, watch this. So he lifts up his arm, and it looked like his arm was like moving kind of in jittery in slow motion. He's like, I'm trying to move my arm just normally. He goes, look at my other arm. And then he did it and it moved normally. He goes, so it's I think he was saying his right side is the side that's affected. So, so it's basically, it's like the brain is firing to the muscles to say, do this thing, right? And they're not able to do that thing the way they want to. And it's affected by like fatigue and like, so the exact thing that they're doing, right, which is training,
him being an athlete. Exactly.
Right, is the thing that's kind of triggering that disability. But he just won another silver.
I think I did see his video, like, because I'm like, on my timeline, I see all kind of things, and now the on, and so I think I did see him, and I'm like, okay, surface level, but then he was explaining that like when he's in fatigue, and it like he could have just like random like seizures and stuff like that, like can just like randomly happen too, and I'm just like, wow, like, and the fact that you're purposely putting your body through physical, like you're literally getting tired while you're running and competing, and even just in the warm-up. So it's just like you getting from the start line to the finish line and getting a medal. It's just like, my hat's off.
My
hat is all the way off.
I was saying it in the show yesterday. Who do we have on? Oh, we had Jaylene Roberts. So she has CP as well. And I was talking about the concept of we're all the same, but we're all different, right? And sometimes, like the Paralympics shows us maybe physically, how we might be different. So it's kind of easier to see, maybe, right? But in the end, we had a kind of a conversation of we're more the same than we are different as people.
100%,
So it is one of the things I think that the Paralympics does, the Olympics does. It brings different genders, different ethnicities, right? All socioeconomic classes of people together. And it's, there's this thing called a competition that happens, right? And I think that's part of the magic of the Olympics and the Paralympics. And it's one of the reasons why, honestly, I wanted to pair Olympians with Paralympians to kind of show people, these are just athletes, right? So to kind of equate the two, right? Which I think I'm going to continue to do more and more, because it just makes for really interesting conversation, I think.
No, I think it's really cool, because I'm pretty sure you saw, like, when you were talking to Grace, and I think you said her name, that like she's like, I agree with everything that Grace is saying. Like, that is obviously what it takes for you to get to where you have to go, but there's also a different component to it as well, so I think it's so cool to share perspectives, like what you were telling me, like, oh, okay, maybe I may not know so much about Paralympians and Paralympics, but the fact that like we are all elite athletes is what brings us all together, and that we have a competition. People are here watching them in the stands, just like how they're watching another competition, and probably selling out those stands even more,
they were,
like, people want to watch this. Like, we want to support you guys. Like, the love is still the same.
Yeah. And it, like, for us, even in this show, so right now the Paralympics is beating our Olympics live stream.
Nice.
I think I should have had
that.
Paralympians on with Olympians in the first 17 episodes.
Right. I mean, you live it. We're figuring it out.
We live and learn.
It's growing, We're growing here.
Exactly. I think we're having so much fun with this live stream show. It's such a great way to like get to know you guys.
Yeah.
And it's easy, right? It's easy because there's not, you can be at your house or across an
Yeah.
ocean and
Yeah.
be on the show. So I think we're going to expand it out actually into other events in sports, but I want kind of the core. I always want like an Olympian or a Paralympian on the show, but I think we're going to start to expand out, bring in some NFL players, bring in some international soccer players, right?
Just get their actual perspective too on it.
Yeah, I think it can start to it'll allow us to get into some other sports, but mostly it just expands the pool of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
athletes. You know,
I mean, in
the,
world's greatest, it means everybody, you know?
well, I named the company that for a reason. I never said the Olympians
You didn't.
company.
You just know you have a lot of Olympian friends, man, okay? You
Exactly.
sure do.
I do. So we're down to 5 minutes, though, G. So I did want to ask you. Let's ask that question. What do you think it takes to be the greatest?
Wow. Your mindset this year has definitely taught me that your mindset and just having the confidence for you to believe what it is that you want to do. Obviously, you have your coach, you have your village of people who are there behind you. But if you yourself don't believe that you're going to be, a world record holder, Olympian, making it to the final, then you're not going to do it. Your mindset is literally what takes you from being good to great to amazing, and so, yeah, your mindset.
It's
Period.
period. This Jaylene yesterday said the same thing. If you don't believe it, she's like, you can have all the people around you, hundreds of people that you know who believe in you, but
Yep.
if you don't believe it, it just can't happen.
Yep.
You know,
That is very. And your
it's
coach can't think it for you. Your
yeah.
boyfriend can't think it for you. Your family, like they can't want it more than you. They can't have that confidence in you, And this year definitely taught me that. Like, all right, we got some things to work on.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about you too, G. I mean, you're such a strong-minded person and focused and driven, and have that natural ability to go with it. Um, Nothing but good things are going to come from this, right? I mean, first of all, like you said, you know, you did make the Olympics, so there's
This
that.
is true.
You're
This
in the
is true.
1% of 1%ers. Like
Yeah.
very few people. The other thing that I love is you're a 2-time Olympian.
It's
There's
so
no
interesting.
fluke.
It's so interesting that you say that. Like everyone's like, "Do you know what you just did?" And I'm over here mad I didn't make the final, mad I didn't do this, mad I didn't do that. And people are like, like, do you not know what you did? But I think it's always because I'm surrounded by Olympians, medalists all the time. And so, but that should not diminish anything of what I do. But I think that's just also the competitor in me, the
Yeah.
athlete. It just is like you always want more. But we're always gonna want more. That's what life is about. But I think being in the moment and being present and just being like, wow, this is amazing. Thank you. Let me say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah. No, I mean, Jeremy Campbell was on the other day. He's a discus thrower and a Paralympian. So he's a 5-time Olympian, and he's won 4 golds. So
Wow.
so he's going for his 5th straight gold medal.
Shoot.
And so I'm like, Jeremy, like, how, you know, how do you do this? Like, and so we're talking about what it takes to be the greatest. And he goes, first of all, you got to remember, he's like, I was like a different person each time, honestly.
Yeah.
He's like, 4 years go by and you're a different person, pandemic, different. And he's like, this time around, I was really trying to figure out, like, why am I doing this? Right. And he started it. He's like, I really started to simplify things. And mindfulness became really, really important. We
Yeah.
started going down that track a little bit, and he's like, I don't want to share everything because it's personal. At some point, I will want to share it and probably write a book and stuff. But the idea of I thought it was very interesting. The idea of being kind of a different person, because you always think of you as you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you're in different stages, right, as you grow older. So the athlete you were in Tokyo is a different
It's not
athlete
the
than you are
same.
right?
Yeah.
And that experience will make you a different athlete again as you're working toward LA 2028.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think that that's the beauty of it, though, because if you are the same person, then how else are you going to grow, or how else can you figure out what you need to get better at if, you don't have these certain things that happen, or what's going to, yeah, you're definitely not going to be the same person. I admire that a lot, because I think that that is very true. I mean, you get older, obviously, like with age, so you're
yeah,
not, life happens, you may get married, you may break up, like, I don't know, there are different things, you might have a kid, like there are different things that can really mold you and just like really prepare you for things. And I think him talking about mindfulness, that's really great, because they had a mindfulness zone as well in the Olympic Village, which a lot of people utilize. So I think that that's good.
that's very cool. Very cool. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but LA 2028, it's a homecoming for you.
Oh yeah, no, I was turned
I,
up. I was turned up. I was, because I waited. I wanted to stay for the closing ceremony for when they passed off the baton to
oh
LA.
yeah,
It was worth the wait. I cannot wait. And I was just home actually visiting my family in Los Angeles, and so I heard that they're redoing a bunch of different things, like some of the stadiums, some of the track stadiums, and just making it you know more, I guess they're making, like, renovating things a little bit more so that
yeah.
everyone, so that it looks more like livable, and just everyone can use all the facilities and stuff like that. So I'm actually really interested to see where and what things are going to look like as the years go on. So I'm ready.
I
I'm
think
excited.
everyone talks about like the bump. When you're the host city, the bump in medal wins and all that kind of stuff. I don't think people talk enough about like straight up like the travel.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like no matter you getting over to Europe, even if you go over 2 weeks early, like you're
yeah.
still not the same
You're still not
athlete.
adjusted. Nope.
Yeah.
So this will
So
actually be nice that we don't have to travel very far. Yeah, you don't have to go
exactly.
far at all. You just 2 hour time difference to the West Coast
Yeah.
Pacific Standard Time. So that'll actually be nice. And it's actually nice to kind of like, I had a world championship, in the United States, and then having an Olympics in the United States. I think that that's really cool for me as well. Just kind of being able to see what it looks like in different parts of the world. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to
It's
be
gonna,
congested, but if Paris could do it, then I know Los Angeles can do it, because
yeah.
Paris is just as busy, if not busier, than Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and more congested. So
Yeah.
we gonna see.
Exactly. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be
It's going to be
wild.
wild. It is.
We filled up one whole hour. Just
Hey,
me and you
just
chatting.
me and
We
you.
didn't. So this is why you got to stay nimble, because it's like you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The live show. I'm sure Julia will get back to me, and we'll have her back on.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be with one more medal around her neck.
Hmm.
So
That would be great.
hopefully.
Nah, she's
The-
amazing. I wanted to tell her, but you're amazing, Julia. Keep going, girl.
Exactly. So we'll have her back on. So we've been ending the shows, doing some shout outs. I'll let you go first. You can shout out people, brands, coaches, whatever you want, your dog, like whatever.
My dog. All right, here we go. Well, shout out to everyone that doubted me. Everyone, no, everyone that doubted me, because you guys keep the field going. But also shout out to those who've been by me, coaches, all of LA, all of Panama, the Olympic Committee Federation, my family, my boyfriend, my dog, my friends. You guys hold me together. Love y'all.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And first, shout out to you, G, for coming on. I really appreciate it. You're one of my favorite people. I love seeing you. You're always smiling and happy, even when you're grinding it out there.
Truly.
So it's always good to see you. So thank you. Big shout out to Vizio, by the way. So Vizio, you see the logos here.
I see the logo.
Yeah. So we got distribution on Vizio. They've been awesome. So if you have a Vizio Smart TV, you can find the world's greatest content, including your episode of Superhuman Stories that continues to get
That
views.
continues to grow.
Yeah. So, and we also, your Super Docs is on there as well, that episode. So, and I think your one-on-one episode too. So you can see all that there. Big shout out to the Curiosity Stream. It's a streaming platform kind of focused around science documentaries and sciencey shows. So they picked up our show, The Science of Movement. So you can see that show there. They also helped us get on. So if you search on Apple TV and Prime Video for The Science of Movement, you'll find our show. So, but you have to go through. It'll prompt you to go through Curiosity, but it's another way that we're on those different platforms as well. And shout out to the sponsor of Science of Movement, HSS, Hospital for Special Surgery. They were an amazing sponsor for that show. If you want to follow us, that little banner down below has been showing you all of World's Greatest little on YouTube. You can see all of our content. We just started a TikTok not that long ago, and it's doing pretty well. So recutting some stuff, putting it up there, trying not to make it
the times.
You got to do it. So G, that's the show for today. I appreciate all the time. We had fun. We'll see what happens. Have fun. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Who do we have tomorrow?
Thanks for having me. I'm always grateful and just lucky. Like, you're thinking of me all the time. Oh.
I mean, I appreciate it. You're one of our loyal athletes. That's always ready.
Yeah, we're going on like 4 years. Come on.
I know. It's crazy.
Come on now.
It's kind of crazy. All right. Well, have a great night. Thanks again for being on the show. And we will, I guess we'll be looking for Julia in another episode. That's what we'll be doing.
And the next time I'll have my 60 seconds ready. So.
All right. Yeah. Because we got to get that number down.
We got to get that number down. It cannot be a minute and a half.
In the 50s.
That's terrible. Okay. Don't worry about it. Have a good day.
All right. See you, G.
Bye.
Thanks.